Alright, here is Risk of Rain Daily Run Episode 5, Attempt 2. Lorenzo, would you like to pick our random character, number between 1 and 11?
Should I go 5?
If you pick 5, I'm going to strangle you and then restart the recording again.
Let's go with 6.
6, Artificer. Interesting. You know, probably my least played character. So that should be fun. She's arguably worse than Engineer, but, like, not nearly as unfun as Engineer is early game. So, I don't know, I'll play her. She got a jetpack, that counts for something, I think. She can, like, execute enemies with ice. It's pretty rad. She's got a flamethrower. That's pretty cool. Either way, sorry, I'm kind of thrown off because I had to reset the run because I died in the first stage. It is roughly 3:30 on a Thursday. Gotta go over the recap of what's happened the last 24 hours, which, spoiler alert, it wasn't anything. The last 21 hours since my recording. I left my dorm for I got a total of like twice. I got 5 hours of sleep from the hours of 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. and had a computer science seminar, which was as delightful as you can expect one of those to be after 5 hours of sleep. I mean, like, the subject matter wasn't bad, but I haven't been trained in Python yet, so it just was kind of confusing. I'll take the beads. Okay. It was about procedurally generated art, which on one hand is like very cool that technology can do that now, but there's also, you know, the debate of whether or not computers are capable of making genuine art, because art is like a representation of human emotion, and human emotion technically can't exist through procedurally generated art because it's generated by something that lacks said emotion. Which I suppose is more of a like psychology of art question rather than a computer science question, and thusly I will be avoiding it entirely, because that sounds like a great way to get my ass kicked by like every single art major in this college. Because, I mean, on one hand, there is like an emotion into, you know, living and let God, you know, with some computer drawing a billion circles at precise locations that only it understands. But at the same time, like, you know, you just put an input into a computer and had it make a cool drawing, and at that point, that, you know, is that truly a representation of your soul, or is it just like a, you know, computer's mockery of the human artistic process? Yeah, I guess it's a debate for another time, because I don't think I'm smart enough to do the topic justice in computer science or in art. What else is going on? Lorenzo's gonna get pissed because I'm gonna say all of the things I said like 10 minutes ago a second time. The theater auditions are going on today. The first day of 2 days before callbacks. Not just musical theater, but also just like everything else in the spring, normal theater as well. Not that I'm interested at all in the normal theater side of things. I'm a musical theater fella, and I'm not ashamed of the fact that I'm not a real theater boy. I'm sure someone will get mad at me, but it's fine. Man, that was quite possibly the worst item that the 3D printer could have taken. Thanks. It's fine. I'll live. You gotta have a 16-bar song from a musical song or a folk song, which I think is interesting, because like you usually don't see a whole lot of folk music representation You know, is it pronounced folk or like folk? Like, is that? Because it's spelled like folk, but it's definitely like I've never heard anyone in my life pronounce it like that. You know, like with the L, like is it another one of those dumbass English language silent L's? Or is it more of like, you know, dumb Michigander accent makes me look stupid? Holy God, we lived. On the bright side, we lived. It just gave me a little bit of a scare. I thought I was gonna lose like 2 runs on the first floor in a row, and it really cement the fact that I'm just not allowed to win these runs when I record them. You know, it's strange. I win these all the time off camera, like without relative difficulty. Like, it's not this game is not the most difficult game ever once you know what you're doing. It just either I forgot how to play, or I lost my gamer cred, you know, which is fine. I mean, I can perfectly accept the fact that my gamer cred was taken from me. It probably should have gone a lot sooner, seeing how ungodly horrible I am at every single game people consider important. Besides CSGO, I feel like I used to be alright at that game. I'm probably not anymore. I haven't played in like 6 to 8 months. That's another thing. I feel like the first-person shooter genre is kind of like getting shit on recently. I mean, like the new COD game sucks, the new Battlefield game sucks, and Halo Infinite's like it's good, but everyone's mad at it because it's got a battle pass. Because that's like, you know, making a good game with a battle pass is like the equivalent to like killing God at this point if you're in the video game industry. You know, I mean, you could really make the best game ever for literally free, and if you try to monetize it at all, like Redditors will tell you you're Satan because you're trying to make money off of that video game you made. Even if it's like they'd be much happier to pay $60 for a game and then get all of the cosmetics they won't use than pay free for a game and then have the option to pay money for cosmetics that they will want to use because like they're buying them deliberately, which confuses the hell out of me because I mean, why would you rather be forced to pay for something you don't want? You know, I mean, these same people like would complain about AAA games going from $60 to $70 even though inflation mandates that this is like the least amount that AAA games have ever been worth like in all time, and that companies are like, you know, making less per copy than they were in the past for games that require a whole lot more money to make, you know? I mean, I feel like that's a perfectly fair thing. I mean, I don't buy AAA games, but if I did, I'd be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I mean, realistically, the companies they have every right to mark that price up because the value of the dollar is just worth less. I mean, if the $10 markup was what prevented the world from having to get destroyed by infinite microtransactions, I think that's like a fair trade, honestly. I would much rather like the gaming business go back to not being toxic and like abusive of its fans. I'd rather pay $10 more for a game than have that happen, you know? I mean, not that all DLC and paid models are bad, because like especially if it's in a game that doesn't cost anything, like okay, you're supporting the devs, but there's some really predatory markets out there, like driven towards children, and it's kind of gross. I mean, like, you got your boys over at EA and Blizzard, which if there's not like a couple of names that you should hear and like cry a little bit about, it's definitely EA and Blizzard, because good God, have they been getting raked over the coals recently for being like the most disgusting companies to ever exist. Not that it's like not deserved, because it's absolutely deserved. They are probably some of the scummiest companies to ever exist. But Jesus, you can't like go a week without hearing more news about the fact that like EA has been committing war crimes in Indonesia or something. I say that as a joke now, but next week you're gonna be calling me a prophet, all right? we're gonna learn that like EA products, EA games are coded solely by like child laborers in Taiwan, or and then EA is gonna like not acknowledge Taiwan's existence because China's their biggest market or something, right? I mean, I feel like that's just the next logical step for this like shit show that is EA and Blizzard and Activision. Activision used to be so cool. Like, does anyone remember like the good old days when we all loved Activision? Like they made like Skylanders and shit, didn't they? Like Skylanders was the shit when I was a little kid. I used to have like a billion of them. And I think I literally gave them all back to GameStop for like $12. So I wasn't using them anymore. And I regretted immensely because I could have sold those fuckers for so much money. And I just chose to sell them back to GameStop because it was easier. So yeah, 12 fucking dollars. I don't even think I was able to buy one of their shitty games that like someone heavily used and doesn't even work anymore, but they repackage it for like 15 bucks and just call it revamped. Like I don't even think I was able to buy one of those with the little tiny amount of money they gave me for my like $250 of Skylanders shit I collected over the course of 3 years. Which I guess is like GameStop's business model, but still, speaking of horrifically predatory, like, good God. Wish someone had told little kid me not to get scammed by GameStop, you know? That's why I find it really funny that, because of how horrific of a company GameStop is, like, it's the one that gets trolled the most by the internet. Like you see people hating on companies that are like too big to get shit on, you know, like oil companies that are definitely evil, but we can't do anything about it because they're like 25% of the US's economy. But GameStop is like a tiny company in relative terms, you know, and like declining rapidly with the online sale of games becoming more popular than physical copies due to the fact that materialism in modern day is going on a decline, and also it's way cheaper for companies to steal their games back from you if you buy them online. And so that's like the third Corpse Bloom in a row, by the way. That's fucking horrific. that's just awful. But either way, so, you know, it's a tiny enough company that like the normal person can bully it, while also being evil enough to like deserve being bullied, because it like, you know, it's a company that like 100% relies on the like selling shitty repackaged games to children and old people, which on one hand like I fully support because it's hilarious that there's an entire game company that basically runs its market off of like scamming children, but at the same time, you know, I can see why it gets bullied all the time. Thank God it's not a freaking Corpse Bloom. I've spent so many lunar coins on this run just because I can, I guess. I'm not even getting like particularly good items from it, so that's alright. As far as like general world news, Michigan is no longer #1 in the country for COVID. Woo! Yeah! We're #2! Which almost is like disappointing. Like, it reminds me of the time where Allegan County, the county of my childhood, was demoted from #1 meth capital of the planet to #2 meth capital of the planet behind Detroit. Like I'm almost more disappointed that we're #2 instead of #1. Because at least #1, like, that's funny. right? You could be like, yeah, I live in the #1 meth capital of the planet. But like saying like, yeah, I live in the #2 meth capital of the planet, like that's lame. Also, it's Detroit. Like Detroit ruins everything. I mean, like Detroit couldn't even let Allegan County keep its meth numbers. That's sad. You had to take everything from me. What other funny Detroit anecdotes do I have? Oh, I had a friend of mine. Their family, when he was a baby, his older brother remembers this story. It was his older brother who was like 8. His mom, no, not 8, 6 probably, because Harrison would have been 4. His older brother, his mom, and his dad were going on a walk in Detroit after they moved here from Seattle. And like this is like 2 days after buying their like apartment or whatever in Detroit. And some guy like comes out of an alley like in the middle of the fucking day and goes like, "Hey, how much for the kid?" Referring to Harrison. So they were in Detroit, I shit you not, like a week. And someone tried to buy their youngest child off of them. Which is just like the most Detroit story I've ever heard. So I mean like reasonable people and decent parents do, they immediately moved as far away as they could while still being in Michigan, and now live in the slightly less shitty town of Gobles. Oh, I can't call Gobles shitty anymore, actually. Never mind. It's still, like, not great, but it's not the worst place ever, I guess. The houses are cheap. That's a pretty big positive these days. With the housing market being so ridiculously fucked that it's probably cheaper to get a college education so you can live somewhere for 4 years. Yeah, I guess it's all right that that Gobles has cheap houses, you know. Oh, I forgot that this like, yeah, the item I took summons a bunch of enemies whenever I interact with any of these little statues. Man, 250% chances failed in a row, baby. Yeah, just pain. That's gonna be the theme for the episode, I think. Just pain, baby. Woo. Speaking of just pain, did I already mention that I was assigned 2 whole essays in English today? That was pretty cool, seeing as there's 2 weeks left in the semester. 2 essays on top of the essay revision I have to do. So I guess more like 3 essays in total, which is just the most insane statement I've ever made. Like that's gotta be stupid. Like in one 2 hour or 1 hour and a half class, yeah, 90-minute class, I was assigned not 1 but 3 like decent sized essays, which is just silly. I mean, come on. Who does that? Who the fuck? Like, why? You know? What drove you to that course of action? All right, this run's kind of bumping. I mean, I'm gonna say that now, but I'm gonna die instantly in like 3 seconds probably, because every time I say that, I just die immediately. But like this run's kind of feeling nice. Like Artificer's feeling kind of cute. You know, I'm not afraid to say it. I'll say it, but you know, Huntress might be the go-to waifu of this game, but Artificer's kind of cute. Okay, that's how I feel, and I'm tired of pretending that isn't. You know, or whatever the Joker line is. You mess with the Huntress stands, you get what you fucking deserve. How do you think Joaquin Phoenix is doing right now? You know, I don't think the world's heard from him since Joker came out. How do you think he's doing? You think he's doing alright? Like bathing in the millions and millions and millions of dollars he made for making quite possibly the best DC adaptation of a movie in like 10 years? I mean, yeah, probably doing alright. Hope he doesn't get like too upset for being typecast as like crazy people. I feel like it's like probably like the worst thing to get typecast as is like actually insane people, you know? I guess I wouldn't personally want to get typecast as someone who genuinely like broken mentally. But you know what, Joaquin Phoenix? Oh Jesus! Hello, friend. No, we're not doing that today. He seems to be vibing though. Like I don't know him personally. But as far as his career goes, he gets plenty of work, and he's great at what he does. And as far as I've like seen from like interviews and stuff, I don't think he's complaining from the millions and millions of dollars he's made. So as far as that goes, I guess you can be like, you just gotta be happy for the guy. Summon greater wisps, huh? Oh yeah, there he is. Yeah, this is getting a little bit nuts. This is actually like not a very slow run, which is you should be dead, sir. I killed you. Thank you. I mean, you are not immune to the insta kill there. It's like my gimmick. Oh, I'm too far away. Oh god. Nice. Okay, we're out of here. Woo! Flying. He was dead. I got killed. I got attacked by a dead man. You know, like it's kind of a strange like career to have, right? Just being that one guy who is like famous for being every single insane character in a famous movie. Kind of like you know, I guess it's better than being remembered for like literally one role. You know, like you played that one insane character, and like you have this wide variety of things you've done. And everyone's like, yeah, you were a great Patrick Bateman. You know, like, oh, thanks. I had like a 40-year-long acting career after that movie. That's not even sort of accurate. I'm pretty sure that movie didn't even come out 40 years ago. It was like a mockery of what 40 years ago was. But you know, like your best role, like once everyone only remembers you for that one role, it's oh my god, you're kind of stuck forever, you know, which is kind of sad. I mean, it just certainly isn't a career path that sounds super enjoyable because everyone just wants you to do the thing that you did that one time. You know, I mean, you be Patrick Bateman again. Like, no, it's not how that works. You can't just be Patrick Bateman like a second time. That story's over, you know. And then you could be a character extremely similar, but at that point it'd get stale, and everyone would just think it's a rip off of your last performance. And well, I mean, at that point you're really struggling. And career as an artist has got to be hard, right? Because you're hoping to get remembered for your work, but like at what point, like, do you want to in your life do you want to end up producing your most famous work, you know? Because if you produce your most famous work like too late in your life, you won't be able to enjoy the success that comes from the fact that you made something like wildly popular. But at the same time, if you make your most famous work too early in your career, that could really, you know, you'd have massive popularity growth for like a short while, and then your career would kind of stagnate until you're riding the high from that one success for like far too long, and then you fall back into obscurity anyway. You know, like kind of how meme culture is these days. So you remember the Fiverr guy that asked for your mom's credit card, like that guy? And what do you think he's doing? You know, not much. I can tell you that. Like 2 years ago, he had an existential crisis because he like made so much money off of those Fiverr deals that he thought he could spend the rest of his life doing them, and then they quit his job, and we're just gonna rely on meme culture to keep them alive, and then they just everyone stopped giving a shit about him at once because that's what the internet does. And, well, I don't know what happened to him after that. You know, it's so fickle. I feel like an artist's career is very similar, if not like even more volatile, given the fact that you're it's not just like, oh, this is funny. It's like, you know, oh, this is significant in a way that makes me understand this is art. You know, it's, not only do you have to have some sort of skill and ability to manifest that skill into believable and like widely appreciable piece of artwork, but that artwork also has to be significant enough that people are like willing to look out for your next works, which is insane to me because, you know, it's not like making a meme. He can't just like slap some like funny image of a dog over some text and be like, yeah, this is a meme. And don't tell me that's not what memes are like anymore, because that, you know, we regressed back to 2012. The Doge meme is funny again. You know, it's not, we're not like in the surrealist age of 2016 to 2019. This is post 2020. We're in a post ironic culture that we're fine. Post ironic culture that supports things that are closer to man-made horrors beyond our comprehension than actual like constructed jokes that also plays on the nostalgia of the meme culture of our early childhood, or not early, but like mid to late childhoods, you know. So I mean, yeah, the picture of the dog is funny again, as long as the dog is like saying something like, haha, I can't wait to summon this Lovecraftian demon from another dimension to reap horror on humanity forever. And it's kind of what meme culture has become. It's the same thing as 2012, but now everybody's like clinically depressed. which is so sad to think about. Is that a scavenger? No, okay. I thought I had like an opportunity to be real scared for a couple of seconds. Anyway, it's just the culture of that sort of thing is so fickle. Where like it's, you know, you make the funniest shit on earth one day, and then your random dog shit meme of like, you know, the Doge dog, like carving apart a deer corpse and like making a comment of how ironic it is, for even though it isn't actually inherently ironic, but you just pretend that it is for clout. You know, that's funny one day, but then the next day, you know, if you hitched your life savings on the amount of clicks your website with that meme was gonna get, you're gonna be woefully disappointed. The Reddit karma will not be kind to you. I have no idea how we got on this topic from the topic of like the fickleness of the artistic world. I suppose we'll just go with it. As far as like the strange place that meme culture is in nowadays, like I think it's a really interesting case study of like how humanity as a whole is like coping with this horrifically traumatic, you know, year and a half at this point. Because, you know, memes are like deliberately no longer funny, and that's the point. Which says like a whole lot about our standards of humor, if I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, they've delved so low where like we're willing to laugh at literally anything as long as it like it presents itself as funny. I mean, I guess that was a thing before the pandemic. I'm not gonna lie, Amy Schumer did have a career, but you know, it's more prevalent nowadays. Man, that quote right there is gonna come back to me in like 2 years and haunt me. When Amy Schumer does her hit special, the leather special too, now with more leather. What happened to her anyway? Like, that's another artist that like disappeared entirely over the course of 2020. What happened to the Aimster, Amy Schumer? What like depressing little crevice of nightmarish like thoughts and schemes did she fall into, you know? You think she's happy in whatever little small hole that she crawled into after her comedy career died entirely? Yeah, I hope she is. Okay, we're fine. I wanted, okay, I ended up with the item I wanted. We're running away. I got hit by a rock. Well, that was quite possibly the scariest moment of my life. Yeah, I'll take Mercurial Arrakis. This is a really good run. Oh, stop shooting at me, my friend. I need you to stop giving me like near misses that make my heart skip like 4 beats. That's not healthy. You're gonna make me develop an arrhythmia. Do I know what that word means? No. I mean, yes. It's like it's where your heart doesn't like have the correct amount of beats per second, right? That's what it is. It's got like it doesn't have a consistent rhythm. Thus arrhythmia. Duh. Okay. Yeah. I do appreciate it. Do you notice how like when I was like scared mashing the E button, like the bottom of the screen is still like responding to the amount of times I hit E in a scared panic to get my wood fella back? I think that's hilarious. All right, let's grab some drones, some cannon fodder, so that these brass contraptions can stop shooting at me. Okay, it finally caught up to the present day. It's no longer trying to understand what the hell happened. Where I picked up 27 active items in about 5 seconds because I was just trying to get my little wood fella back. Where's the portal? Is that an item? Did I actually leave an item on the ground over there? Certainly looks like it. Which is really weird if I did, because I'm sure I would have seen that. Yeah, look at that shit. I did. I wonder what item that is. Is it a tri-tip? It is. That's so strange. You think I would have picked that up? There's somebody like who's going back to when I grabbed that item originally and like, you know, posting a timestamp in the comments saying like, you forgot to grab that, moron, without watching the rest of the video. That's okay. You know what? Whoever that guy is, I respect you. I will like your comment and definitely read it for sure. You know, that's another thing about the YouTube like game that I don't quite why do I keep hitting these? That I don't quite understand. How people are like with, you know, like 60 to 70,000 subscribers can like take the time to read all of the comments on their videos every day. That's like fucking a lot of videos. What time is it? Oh, well. I need to stop taking so much time. I gotta be somewhere in a couple of minutes. But it's okay. I'm gonna die right here, right now. Yep, there it is. Jesus, overloading Elder Lemurians, huh? Well, it's a good enough place to end it off. Another loss, of course. Good God, is it loud? We're gonna end it there. All right, have a great day.